Alright guys, welcome back. So, here's the deal. I have this car right here. This is my first Kiloworks. I've been having a hard time deciding what I want to do for this video. At first, at first I was going to do a comparison with the Spark. I was just going to do a flat out comparison. I've now decided that I'm just going to review this and then compare it to the Spark. So yeah, I've been struggling with this because between both of these models, and the reason I'm not just going to do a full comparison video, I'm just going to point out some differences, is because I'm not really happy with either of these. And the reason being is that Tarmac Works made a global or a Hobby 64 version of this specific car, and I think I look at both of these and I find myself wanting the Tarmac Works. And so that's kind of where I'm at with these. The only problem is I don't really want to get the Tarmac Works because it's expensive, because they decided to make it an exclusive for Macau last year. So it's like, I don't know, it's like $70 plus shipping from Hong Kong. Not worth it to me, especially when I already have two of this car. But anyways, here it is. Let's check out the packaging. So again, this is Kiloworks. This is the first car I've gotten from this brand. As far from everything I've seen, they're doing some cool stuff. They're making some really neat cars. They're making some stuff that we haven't really seen from anybody else. But and they have released some stuff. This is just the first one that I've actually gone and picked up. But this is a collaboration with NZG, which is a German model car brand. I think they contract some of their smaller scale stuff out. So right now I think NZG is contracting through Kiloworks, which is fine. That's totally fair. So you've got the NZG socials right here. This is licensed by Mercedes, so there's no worries there. It's got an authenticity sticker and then of course their address and whatnot. I will note this is very, very thick cardboard. It's not like your standard Tarmac Works. But anyways, here's all the warnings and stuff on the bottom. And yeah, pretty nice packaging. It's themed pretty well with the color of the car. It's got the 130 years motorsport on the back right there. So yeah, it's licensed. This is made by Kiloworks, but I'm assuming all the licensing and design and whatnot comes from NZG. So never really had experience with NZG. I had to look into them before this review. But overall, it seems like they're pretty reputable. At least they like in terms of like they license all their products and everything. But anyway, so clear base for this one. It has the name of the car right here, which is important because this is the most information you get about this car on this entire packaging, which is one thing that I really, really do not like. So on the packaging on the front right here, it says Mercedes AMG GT3 1/64 scale. That is all it mentions about the car on this entire packaging, right? So obviously there's the barcode and the SKU right there, and then there's an art number right here. I don't know what the art number is for, but yeah, that's the only mention of the car is this right here. So this information on the plinth right here is the only information about the car you get. Mercedes AMG GT3 FIA GT World Cup 2024, which in all fairness, that's really all the information that you need about this model. You know, it clearly states what it is, but it's just a little odd to me because when you look at the Spark on the bottom right here, it has all the information. So does Tarmac Works. It's got the actual internal code from Spark, which doesn't really matter, but Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, Team GMR winner of the FIA GT World Cup Macau 2024. It's got the licensing and whatnot. So like this one just has a lot more information. And this one also states that it is the GT3 Evo. This is from the same year. These are both from 2024. The FIA GMR driven by Mr. Engel. And so yeah, I'm assuming it's the same car. So this should say Evo, I think, unless they switch to the Evo mid-season. I don't really know. And the other reason that I'm not just doing a straight out comparison of these two is because it's kind of difficult to find photos of this car just like parked still with the correct like numbers and stuff on it to where you can actually do a one-to-one comparison. So that's why I'm not really doing that. But anyways, aside from the vague information on the packaging, there are some big complaints I have with the model itself. And the biggest one, and I think this just comes down to me being the unluckiest diecast collector on the planet, again, the AMG logo on the wing is backwards. It is supposed to face forwards. And yeah, they put it on backwards. So that's already kind of unforgivable to me. That is ridiculous. That is like, I mean, that's one of, if not the biggest logo on the car, and it's backwards. So I don't like that. That is absolutely horrific. The other really big thing that I do not like is if you look on the hood right here, it has these vents. Now, these are photo etched. I don't know if they're metal or plastic. It's a little bit hard to tell. But it has these photo etched vents. Look how terribly they are aligned. If they were aligned straight and glued down, they'd probably look pretty good, but they are both just terrible. Those are my two biggest complaints with this car, is the backwards logo here and the really bad hood vents. Obviously, you guys can tell that I've already looked at this car pretty thoroughly. But other than that, it's pretty good. It does have some inaccuracies. For example, there's two sponsorship logos that should go in this vent behind this front wheel. As you can see, they are on the Spark. So those are missing. I think that's about it as far as stuff missing. So like, that's not a big deal. It's a little nitpicky. But another thing is I will show you guys on screen what I paid for this. I think it was around $23 USD from RC Mart. And then I'll also show you what I paid for this Spark. I think it was also around that same price point. So these are the same price as a Tarmac Works Hobby 64, right? Same exact price point in that $20 to $25 range, while the Tarmac version of this was a lot more because it's an event exclusive and not readily available, whatever. But for Tarmac Works pricing, you are getting black plastic brake details, right? Obviously, I have huge complaints with these Sparks. I think this was a step in the right direction for them. They don't have brake details, so that's kind of, the Spark's kind of irrelevant here, but yeah, the brake details in here are black plastic. It does have it does have the actual brake rotor and then a molded caliper on it, but it's just black, and like you might as well not have brake details. And when you put it next to a photograph of the Tarmac Works, which is the best I can do right now because I don't want to spend the money on it, so we're going to have to go off photos. When you look at it next to the Tarmac Work just looks so much better and more realistic because of the nice brake detailing that they do. We joke a lot about Tarmac Works on this channel about having really bad quality control, but overall their models are very nice looking overall. So the brake details is a bummer at this price point. I definitely think it needs better brake detail. Obviously the inaccuracies and whatnot are also really big bummers. But aside from that, the paint and print quality on this model is really, really nice. As far as I can tell, this whole entire livery, all the carbon fiber and the way it shifts into gray and then white is all pad printed and then clear coated. On the Spark, however, a lot of it's decals, and you can tell because there's some creasing in the decal right there. And then you can also see it's got pretty poor print quality. So if you zoom way in and look at it really close, you can see those little I don't know what you call them, print patterns where they printed onto the decal. So overall, the actual livery and paintwork and everything is really, really nice on this. In fact, I think possibly even better than Tarmac Works, because Tarmac Works does use a lot of decals. There's not really a ton of decals on this. Obviously, the window numbers are decals, like the windshield banner and the window numbers are all decals and stuff. But as far as the whole livery around the car, it's very smooth. It's pad printed. It's really nice. Not to mention, it also has a photo etched metal wing support, which is something that Tarmac Works also does. So with the overall quality of the paint, the metal wing supports, the tire printing is really nice. All that really, really nice. And I think is a good, what would the term be? Good competitiveness to Tarmac Works' stuff. And the one thing that is going to set these models apart from Kiloworks is they do have opening engines. So this one's a little bit tricky to get open. You kind of have to pull up from this vent up here on the hood. Wow, I'm not going to be able to do it. There we go. So it does open. It opens quite nice, and if you told me that this model had an opening engine, I probably wouldn't have realized, because the panel gaps are really, really good on this one. There it is compared to the Spark. There's really not that big of a difference. Obviously you can tell there's a little bit more of a seam right there where the hood opens up and the panel lines are. But yeah, Panel gaps, really, really good. And the engine detail on this is also very nice. So you got the engine back there, and then you have this carbon fiber piece that runs all the way around. It looks really good. The vent in there is like the radiator or whatever is silver. It's got the black fan on it. Like overall, it looks really cool. Another detail I really liked is, so where these air vents are, and one of the reasons I wish they look better, aside from they just look ugly, but the vents are there, and then on the bottom of the mold for the hood, you actually have the vents, they actually come down, and then when the hood's closed, you can see that they connect back into those black vents. It's really hard to get the lighting right there. Right above my finger, there's that little vent on each side, and then it would connect to that. It's just really nice attention to detail in the engine bay, so I really do like that. Engine detail is amazing. Front detail is also amazing too. It's got really nice detailing in the grille, and then all the silver vertical lines and the Mercedes badge are all done in like a chrome color, whereas the Spark was just painted on, and then there's no extra detail in the black. So when you look at these two, the Kiloworks looks way better, and also the headlights on the Spark are kind of piss poor as well. The headlights on the Kiloworks are pretty well done. So like overall, it's got some really nice stuff. Also, it does have acrylic taillights as well, which is something that the Spark did not have, and it looks bad in my opinion. Taillights look really good. Got some really nice red printing going through them, and then some detail of the LEDs back there. And then also the carbon fiber itself along this whole back of the car it's actually a really nice carbon fiber print. I like it quite a lot, right? It looks good. And then also the exhaust looks nice. So the exhaust sits behind these vents on the real car, and they kind of just printed it in, but it looks good. It looks really good, and it looks pretty dang accurate. The Spark, I don't know if they were going for like the exhaust pipe is like glowing red from like racing and getting super hot, but the quality ain't there. The carbon fiber does not look that good. Overall, I do say that the Kiloworks, because these are pretty similar in price, I think the Kiloworks is way better. For scale, they're both pretty close to each other, but yeah, the Kiloworks is nice. There's just some areas that are disappointing, and hopefully will be improved. Also, I should mention that it does indeed have a metal base. These both do, so they've got some nice weight to them. And I actually have not tested to see if this one rolls yet. I know the Spark does, kinda. Spark does kind of roll, and let's see, does this one roll? Yes, it does. It actually rolls pretty smoothly, so that is good. So yeah, it rolls, metal base. It's got really nice tire detailing. Also, I think there's another inaccuracy. I think that little red band on the spokes is supposed to be blue, but then again, this one's from Macau. This one just says 2024 FIA, so I don't really know if there's differences between races. But aside from that, everything looks really good on it. It's really solid. It's got nice detail. It's just that backwards logo on the wing really bothers me. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, these vents right there. Those should honestly just be kind of like textured into the metal and then painted like Spark did. I think that is perfectly adequate for what this is. But yeah, comparatively, all the details on the Kiloworks compared to the Spark are just a lot more crisp. Like even the vents over the front wheels look a lot better than the Sparks. These are just like black lines. These actually have some detail to them. I don't know if that's carbon fiber. Probably is carbon fiber. Another thing I thought was really funny, I'll just point this out real quick. So on the Spark, the Mercedes badge on the top of the front right there is offset this direction. And then on the Kiloworks, that Mercedes badge is offset this direction. So I kind of thought that was funny. But another thing I do kind of like is that there's no antennas. So we have a viewer here. His name's Cornell. And he always has really good insight on some of these models, and he opens my eyes to things. And one of the things he's opened my eyes about is the antennas that they put on these cars. They're not only are they very fragile, but antennas don't scale well down to 164 at all. 143 I think would be fine. Anything smaller than 143, they just don't look good. And so this massive, super thick antenna just does not look good when you compare it to the real car. And so I like that Kiloworks skips the antennas on this. I think it just makes it look cleaner and makes it look better. So I do like that. that's pretty much my whole thoughts. I think for the price, these are good. They just need to straighten out some of the details. And in all reality, I'm okay giving up detailed brakes for a really nice, I don't want to scratch the paint, but this is the easiest way to open it. I am okay giving up detailed brakes for a really nice like engine. But I do hope that they add some more color and whatnot to the brakes. Aside from that, just get the logos oriented the right way. Tighten up your quality control on these vents and stuff. I think once they do that, they're going to have a really, really nice product. So I think that's my final verdict. It's good, but be cautious. I think they could end up being like Tarmac Works in terms of quality. I hope they don't. I hope they end up being better than Tarmac Works, but that's how it's looking so far. So I'll leave you guys with that. I was really excited to get this, and then I was a little disappointed. So I've kind of been sitting on this car and video for a bit, just kind of putting it off, but I finally got to it. So Killerworks, let me know what you guys think. I'm definitely excited for some of their upcoming stuff, and I definitely will be getting more of them. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So we'll see. Hopefully they're just going to have some growing pains, and then they'll be set. But who knows? We will find out. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.